Hello, boys and girls. Yes, this is Nicko McBrain from Iron Maiden, and you are watching Chaos TV.
Okay, so
Yes.
what's up everybody? Chaos TV is today here at Hartwall Areena in Helsinki, Finland, and we have the honor to talk with Mr. Nicko McBrain from Iron Maiden. So first off, hello and welcome to Finland, and welcome also to Chaos TV as well.
Thank you very much, you chaos mob out there. You think it's chaos out there? You should be sitting in here. I've got to get behind my drum set in a little while. It is going to be chaos tonight, believe me. Good to be here. Thanks for having me. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So you just kicked off the Legacy of the Beast tour from Tallinn, so how was the show?
Very good. Thank you so very much. Yes, it was our first show. A lot of nerves. There was chaos, believe me, as there will be tonight. It was a fantastic show. It really went very well. We've got a lot of production within the, more so than we normally have. When I say production, I mean lots of effects, lots of special staging, which is basically the realms. What we did was we lent the Legacy of the Beast game. This isn't here to promote the game. This is just what we did was we thought, well, let's go back out and have, you know, rather than, because we just did the Book of Souls album last year and finished the tour with that last year. Obviously the album was released 2015, but having said that, we thought, well, we want to go out and do another summer tour. And I think Bruce and Rod came up with the idea, well, let's go with some of the different realms that are within the Legacy of the Beast game. And of course, that then lends itself to a lot of the older music, the older material, some of the stuff we haven't played, like, oh gosh, let me see, Flight of Icarus, that hasn't had an air in gosh knows how long. Sign of the Cross, 2001, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's been over a decade since we played live. So we kind of dusted down some of the old songs, and we fit the production in with these three different realms which are within the game Legacy of the Beast. Of course, then you've got all the eddies. So there's a lot of eddies going on up there, and there's a lot of fireworks. There's a lot of wonderful effects that Bruce has staged some wonderful theatrics. So, but for us as the band, it gives us an opportunity to play some of the older stuff that we haven't played in a long time. Yeah, I know you lot. You're all going to go, well, why are you doing that song again? Why are you doing that song? We're never going to satisfy you all.
Yeah,
okay?
I was actually going to ask you that it's almost impossible to please everybody, because you have so many albums and so many classic songs.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last time we played Where Eagle Stares in the set, we played that, I think, in 2005.
Yeah.
Was about, so that's over 10 years ago. And songs like, you know, Klansman we haven't played in a while, and so yeah, you know, but we play what we like to play. It's not really for you lot, to be very honest with you. You know, we're very selfish, motivated band. We know whatever we could fart in a paper bag and do that, and you'd love it, wouldn't you? Anyway, so yeah, this is a great opportunity for us to air off some of the older songs we haven't played in a while, and to actually present to our fans and the wonderful metal world out there this wonderful stage set, and it is stunning. I don't get to see it all. And there was stuff I watched on YouTube this morning, and I went, oh, I don't remember that backdrop. I didn't see that backdrop before. Well, what happens to Icarus at the end of the song? And it's all very exciting for me, because I get to see it later on and go, oh, I didn't know we were doing that, you know, because I'm in the little box at the back. So but all right, boys and girls, yes, I know I've got an age thing, and it's very difficult for me to turn. So when I'm playing, if I want to turn around, I have to kind of go like this and turn my whole fucking body around, because my neck doesn't want to work. So when Bruce goes, I'll give you the cue for the beginning of Flight, and I'm like, okay. And I turned around last night, 2 nights ago, and I've looked up, and he's got this freaking cross with these blazing lights on it, right? And all I could see was a hand on the cross, on the crossbar of the cross. I couldn't see Bruce, and he wasn't shining in my eyes. I wasn't actually directly looking into the light, because he had it shining towards you lot, the audience. And I just, wow. where is he? I know I could see his hand. And then there's all this smoke and stuff going up behind him. I didn't have a clue, and I thought, off we go. I just prayed that I got it in the right place, and apparently it was. But it's wonderful. We're really, really excited to being able to do this tour.
Okay. So obviously we are doing this interview because you also have a drum store, Nicko McBrain's Drum One. So where did actually the idea to the drum store originally came from?
Well, it's not a long story, really. I mean, I think every drummer, when you start off, any instrument, any person but drums, there's a mysticism about a drum set in a drum shop. When you're young and you want to become a player, and that's what you want to do, and you walk into the music shop, whether it's purely a drum shop or not. When I was going out looking at instruments when I was 11, 12 years old, we didn't have we had one or two specifically. There was Drum City in Shaftesbury Avenue and Top Gear in Denmark Street, which were just drums, and then Top Gear ended up getting guitar amps and stuff. But when you went into a shop, there was this thing. I still get the vibe, and I think when you become a player, and fortunately God's blessed me with a great career, you never lose that joy, that feeling of, I love, as you can tell from my drum set, I love cymbals. If I could put more cymbals up with I'd do a Mike Mangini and stick them all up here if I could. But
he has them a lot.
he does, bless his heart. But he's all the drums, all his octobands and stuff. But I still get this excitement. And when my friend Craig Buckley and Sam McGowan, Craig is the general manager and my partner, Sam is the manager of the shop. He worked in the Manchester drum shop, which is what it was for 30 years prior to us buying it off of the lad who owned it. So my friend he phoned me up and he said, I've got the opportunity to buy this drum shop. And it was purely by coincidence, really, that he didn't phone me up to ask me to go in as a partner. I said, so how much do we have to find? And he went, we? I said, oh, yes. Because I worked with this guy with Premier Drums before, for 4 years before he ended up leaving Premier. That's another story. But he's a very, very dear friend. He's a fantastic drummer. He's a great, passionate businessman within drums. So I've always talked to him about we do stuff together. Okay. And it just came out, and he says, oh, do you want in on this then? And I went, well, yeah, okay. So we sat down and we talked about how we would do the business side of the deal. And I said, there's something that I've always really in the back of my mind. It wasn't a passion to own a drum shop, but it always had the seed of the idea in the back of my mind since I was a kid. I'd love to own drums and drum shop and go into business. I am not a great business person. That's why I've left it up to Craig and Sam McGowan. I just go in and talk to folks, and the way retail is structured, and you have to go through distributors and stuff like that. We do not want to be distributors. We just want to be retailers. Okay. So I've got a massive Peisty presence in the shop for obvious reasons, boys and girls, have you noticed? And massive, we got what's called the Sonosphere, which is painted because I have an absolute dynamic relationship with the drums, with Sonor and DW and Remo and all the people that I have been blessed to have a relationship with. So I have that profile, but I am not biased. I have everybody else's represented. Sabian, Zildjian, all the drum manufacturers. Pearl have got a big presence. DW have a nice presence too. British Drum Company, they're in there. So it's wonderful, and I am hands-on in terms of where we want to take the shop, and I'm just going to digress a little bit just because I've got the opportunity to let you Chaos Mob out there know. My very first drum event through the Drum One, it's called Drum 1+1. Okay. And it's going to have drummers coming in, not doing drum clinics or drum shows like I do, okay, but we're going to do an evening with, and I have the wonderful, great, wonderful, phenomenal Mr. Ian Pace, and he's coming in on October. October the 4th, and we're doing a drum evening where he will be playing, I will be playing with him, but most of the evening will be questions from the audience, questions from me, because I'm a big fan of Ian Paice and I'm a massive fan of Deep Purple. So I'm going to be like a kid in a candy store as well as a kid in a drum shop. So that's our first big promotion for the drum shop. So yeah, It's really neat. I'm very, very excited.
So obviously playing drums is quite physical task, and if you are playing in Iron Maiden for 2 hours, it's even more physical task. So how do you actually maintain that physical ability to play? You aren't like 20 anymore, so do you actually rehearse a lot, or does it just come through touring, or how does that actually work?
Well, my regime, if you like, my schedule before about a month prior to going on. And starting rehearsals. So we started rehearsals 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks ago. So the 4 weeks back in America, I managed to get for the last 2.5 weeks of rehearsals, I got my Book of Souls drum set delivered to my home in Florida. Before I was playing on a 5-piece drum set, and it's not the same. It's just not the same as playing an 11-piece kit with all your cymbals, because there's a different way. I mean, I still sit the same height. This drum set is just to practice. This is not set up it's not a mirror image of the 4-piece on the stage. But I'll go and run the set, and I'll learn the songs like the older songs we haven't played for a while. And I listened to the live versions, but they were all too quick. I wonder why. And they were a lot quicker than the album version, so I actually went back and listened to both between the two, and then what I do, I found a happy medium where I would clock the timings of the intros and the middle sections, say for Sign of the Cross. Sign of the Cross is one of those songs that has to have a lot of life of its own, but sometimes if we get that bit of the, before the solos, if we go too quick there, the solos are too fast. So, and there's no actual meter between one section to the other. They're all sort of moody. Yeah. So it's just kind of relearning through live and the album version, because the album version actually, it's really quick. So, so I sit down and I try to work. Then so I do about 4 weeks of going through the songs. And then I'll play a little bit of solo, because I have to get this hand working, because I've got a pulled ligament in my wrist, which I got 2 years ago when we started off the last tour last year. So I have to, I can't just like I was when I was younger, just go out and cold. I have to kind of warm myself up, because I am an old git, and your body starts changing. Yeah. But the thing is with Maiden, we all still really, really have a passion to play live. Yeah. And when
you can actually see it from the live videos from the talent show.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we get together, we still have a great time. And it's not a chore. It's not, we just got to go out and do another tour. We're doing it because we love to do it. We don't physically or I suppose financially have to go out and do this. It's not a question of like, lads, I want to buy a new Lamborghini, or in my case, a new Jaguar, boys and girls. It's not like that. It's never been about us going out to do it for money at all. And that's the great thing about Maiden. It's never been about that. But we do it because we love it. So my preparation is, one of the other things is I stopped drinking 3 years ago. So not actually drinking alcohol, and I never drank while I was playing. Afterwards, another story. And so you kind of everyone starts to look after themselves. Steve runs every day, and Yannick goes for a run. Davey swims a lot. I walk golf courses. I don't work out. I find it so boring. I prefer to work out on my drum set. Okay. And so I kind of practice what I've got to play. And sometimes I get it right. But when I get it wrong, it's a doozy.
So obviously you mentioned being a big fan of Ian Paice, yes. and the drummer of Nightwish and Wintersun, Kai Hahto, is his biggest influence of all time. And I actually asked him that if he has something that he wants to ask from you, and he sent sent like me a couple of questions towards you. So I have them here, and I'm going to ask you them.
All right. Let's see what you've got to ask.
So one question: does Nicko play Wickerman's bass circle as a heel up or heel down technique?
Here are. So my heel, I very hardly ever play. It looks like my foot maybe on the plate, but it's always off the heel.
Okay.
The heel's always up. When I play faster, like that particular song, it's pretty much on the edge of my speed. So what I do is I bring, Kai, this is for you, that I bring my foot back down the pedal. So I make, there's your fulcrum, right, normally. So there's your fulcrum point. So you push down and the beater goes this way, right? So if you've got your toe up where you would normally play it, up near the top of the pedal, the fulcrum is from there. Whereas if you come back down here, it gives you more leverage for less effort. All right, so... Went slightly out of time.
Okay.
But the thing is, that is how I do it. So I take my foot back down the pedal a little bit, and you get it going. The only thing about that is you lose a little bit of control on each dynamic of the beat. So the more, when you're further up the pedal, up the foot plate, you get more consistency. Hear that? It kind of it's almost flamming it sort of vibe. Yeah. So the thing is, you lose control, but you get a bit better speed.
Okay.
But you lose the dynamic control. But when you kind of you know, outside from, you know, what you're hearing, the drive. You're not. If you analyse the drum part without the band live, you'll hear it go kind of.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
So
there you go. So I play it heel up, but I bring my foot back.
Okay. The second one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll skip the other one because I don't know how to translate this. It was too technical for my.
If he's just asking you who's the best looking bloke in the band, well, that's obvious.
Yeah. So in the end, a bit about the future. So how do you see the future of Iron Maiden yourself?
Well, we got to get through this tour yet. Well, we got a lot of life left in us. We've not ever that I can recall, unless anyone else in the band has, without a band gathering, decided whether or not we want to carry on or not. We just carry on.
Yeah.
I've always made it clear to Steve and the guys that if I can't drive the band physically, then I'd step down. Now, don't get me wrong, boys and girls. I'm not saying that I am. I'm just saying that it's so important that the band carry on and play it as much as we want, because we have the passion.
Yeah.
It's not financial. It's not anything to do with that. It's because we love it. But if it came as a chore, and I'll quote Jan, if we ever became a parody of ourselves, that would be the time to hang it up. And the thing is, we're not. I mean, I'm the granddad in the band. I'm the oldest fellow in the band. It's quite unusual, really, because every band I was in before Maiden, I was always the youngest or the second youngest. Now I'm the wise old man of the band. Well, they won't agree with the wise, just the old. So we'll carry on, and as long as our fans, which are the most loyal fans, and I tell you right now, without a doubt. I compare it to Arnie's Army, the golf Arnold Palmer. He started a fan base back in the 60s when he had this massive following, and they called him Arnie's Army, and they were the most loyal fans to a golfer.
Yep.
And every band says their fans are the best, and I love that bands do respect it, but I truly mean it, and I know that we have the best fans in the world, and if we do not make you guys happy, then that's the point. Although we do it for ourselves, but at the end of the day, we could go up there and think we're like Jack the Lads, and you lot go, what the heck? what's that all about? Nick's playing in a different time. He's in a different song. Bruce is singing out of time, whatever, or or somebody. When it's not that fantastic vibe that we get when we play together, then so we'll carry on as long as you lot want us to, and the fans, and as long as we have the heart to. And believe me, it's actually more passionate the more we get older than I think we had when we were in the mid-'80s, in the first heyday of Maiden. We've got a resurgence. We kind of went down to it, up and down over the years. Bruce came back. We had those 4 years with Blaze. We went through a leaner period of time where the adjustment didn't really take as well as we thought. Then things turned around in 2000. It was like the band began again. A new chapter, but, 6 of us all of a sudden, gone from 5-piece to 6. You talk about we're in it for the money. You having a laugh? I don't get paid as much as I used to when there were just 5 of us. Behave. No, the gig fee split with one other fellow, isn't it? But no, it's so we will be going as long as we have that passion and the love, and I think that'll probably will die when the good Lord takes me.
So obviously, you have achieved a lot as a musician, and you have been part of also a lot of like Iron Maiden's most classic and most iconic songs. But is there like some specific song that if you someday decide to end this chapter and do something else, is there some song that you would like the fans to remember you from?
Well, all of them really. I mean, obviously my first track on the Peace of Mind was Where Eagles Dare, which had this iconic drum fill, and it is an iconic drum piece through the whole of the song. We've changed the arrangement live over the years. We made another change to it, which I hope you'll all notice. I think that one, Trooper, obviously is a great, another great one. I'd like the legacy to be probably my version of Number of the Beast, because I play it different to Clive. I play a totally different drum part, although it sounds kind of similar to what he plays. And of course, Hallowed Be Thy Name. That happens to be my favourite all-time Maiden song to play ever. Without a doubt, hands down. And actually, we're playing it a little bit slower than we normally do. Well, we did the other night, and everyone, whoa, that's cracking, I like that. So you just never know, do you? So but all of the music. There is one thing I'd like to say. I would like to do live one day, Alexander the Great. I think that is such it's a very, very hard song. In its the arrangement. From everybody, from the guitar parts, all kinds of little bits, and there's all these very different timings, and I love the intro, and then the freaking timpanis in there. One of these days, I'd like Maiden to play that song, because we rehearsed it way back. But we never did. I think we played it at one show, and then it didn't work. So, But thank you very much, everybody, for your love, your support of this band, and of course the best-looking fellow and the best-looking guy is myself. I know you ladies out there. I am married. Anyway, thank you so very much. Thank you very much, my dear friend, for your time here and on KSTV, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't seen the band before, come on down and see that. This is will blow your mind, the stuff that's going on.
Anything you want to say for the fans coming for tomorrow? This is going to be out tomorrow.
Oh, for you lot tomorrow? Why weren't you here tonight? Well, you are here tonight. If you watch, no, hang on a minute. They're going to watch this tomorrow. They're going to be here tonight.
Yeah.
But we recorded this yesterday. No, that's one of them. What the heck's he on about? So, enjoy yourselves, have fun, and just go and tell your mates. Just go home and tell them what an amazing extravaganza you've seen this evening at the Legacy of the Beast tour. God bless you. Take care.